I'm so happy to be here. My name is Aweng, one of the lost boys from Sudan. I hope many of you have seen a documentary on 6 Minutes 2 weeks ago. I'm one of those people. I was not in that video, but I'm one of the people who came to US in 2001 and left their parents for a long time. So I came to US in 2001, and when I was on the plane traveling to US, I watched the movie for the first time. That was a Shrek movie. So it was funny to see that big creature in that video and to see the talking donkey. So I asked a question, is there any talking donkey in US? And people say, no, you have to do that on the computer. And I say, oh, if I come to US, I will study that program. Yeah, so when I come to US, I was not only inspired to go to animation classes to make my own talking donkey, but I was also inspired to go back to my story, what was lost during the time when I was a child. I used art when I was in the refugee camp to record everything that I went through. And to come to Ohio State University and to study art was more important for me to shape my future and also to discover my past. So this is one of my paintings, and that's what happened to me. And I have more of those back there on the table. Feel free to come there later on and check out more of my artwork. So painting all these obstacles that I went through was not easy. It was difficult. But I feel about the reflection of what God has done to me all this time. This is unforgettable moment. At age 6, that's the time I left my village. That's the time when the soldier come to my village and attack my village. And that's the day when I was alone in darkness without family member beside me. So that moment was so crazy. Being a child, the most important thing in your life is to sleep. Sleep well and feel relaxed. But the first night when I have to stay awake for the whole night not sleeping, not knowing where I was, not knowing when to see my family, not knowing what is going on in my village. So I curse a lot. I say a lot of bad words. What is going on? And that's the day when I lost a privilege to be a child, to live a life as a child. That's the day when I thought maybe it would be next day that I will go back and meet my family. But I ended up spending 20 years without seeing my family. So I become part of the environment that was so hostile to me. I was chased by the lion. I was eating the food that I did not trust. I was also bitten by the snakes, same time walking in the distance that was not comfortable to me. And along the way, I was traveling with some other boys, and it was difficult to walk in that long distance. And it took me 7 weeks from where I left to the refugee camp. And one boy was the one taking care of me with the other boys. He was 9 years old. We traveled all the way to the refugee camp. And when we arrived there, he just had infection from the airborne disease. He had a measles, and he bottled that for 3 days, and he died. So me and some other boys, we take him to the cemetery. We dug the hole, and we put it in and throw the dead on him. That moment was painful. It was so sad that being a 6 years old to bury one of your guys, it was really painful for me. And the question that I asked myself, why am I still here? maybe tomorrow will be me. So me and some other boys, we have hard time eating. And some of the other 3 boys who took it seriously, they died later on too. So those were the time that I built the hope. I know that tomorrow will be another day. I start going to school, and that was from under the tree, and stay in the refugee camp for 4 more years in that camp. And another civil war broke out in that country, and I have to leave that country, the same situation where I left my village. I was chased from that country and have to cross the river back to my country, and in that river we lost almost 20,000 lives. So my last memory of the village was that scene that you see there. My father was, I would call him a rich man. He had a lot of cow, and he had big farm where he grow a lot of crop. And all this time I have in mind that everything that has been difficult in my life, I always feel like if my father is here, then this difficult thing will not face me like this. And every time I feel like when I come to US, I go to school here, and when I went home, I have expectation that maybe my father still got a lot of cow that he had long time ago. Maybe you could sell some cow, and maybe you could help me with student loan and all the other bill. But when I went home, it was a different story. The village that I knew when I left was just a blank background. The whole village was gone. People were just seeking the new beginning. They start the village from the scratch. The whole houses were burned down. The land that used to be a garden is just a grassland. The area that has been occupied by a lot of cow and a lot of people is now empty background. So it was a disaster, and I really feel so bad about what I saw. I learned a lot of bad stories. I have good time meeting my mom and dad and some of the siblings that were born after I left. But at the same time, learning a lot of bad stories, it was difficult for me to continue with those stories. So another situation that I found was people were starving. They would wake up in the morning with no food, and they could go to next day without food. And with medical clinic, the only person who was a doctor in that village where they begin new life was a man with second-grade level. So his job is to read the label and give you the malaria medicine. Any kind of sickness that you have no way. You have nothing else that you could get there for your treatment other than getting the malaria medicine. So that young lady there in that image got sick while I was there, and there was no any hospital where they have to take her for emergency. So the only thing that the villagers did was to come together around her and then pray for her. It's a good thing to pray for somebody, but we need more so that God say, help yourself and I will help you. So I thought if there was a hospital there that could take care of her life, and then people would still pray for her. So when I came back, I was too overwhelming. What can I do? Should I provide food to the people? That is not enough. What can I do? And then I came up with the idea that me and Jock, that if we have a medical clinic, that would be way more better to help people get started. So we proposed a medical clinics, and it was supported by the Toyota United Methodist Church. And that was only a medical clinic to help the child and the mothers. And because one child out of 5 children in South Sudan could not live to age 5. That's a really difficult situation. So to make that situation way more better, we plan to build a medical clinic in my village. And one of the chiefs that we met there when we went for assessment trip He said that if you bring a medical clinic here to this village, then we will wait for God to bring food. That was his message, and we had all those sheep there that we met, and we told them about the spirit of Buckeye. And they were so happy about the Buckeye, and the sheep took the necklace and he put it on, and he said that if you bring a medical clinic to this village, then we'll call that medical clinic a Buckeye. So the first step that we took was to, there was a small building that was built to keep the medicine there, and it was not function. So to make it function, we installed the solar panel, and that would help generate the cold chain where we keep the medicine cold so that children have to be vaccinated. And there was a light in darkness, and since the creation of that village, they have never seen a light. But when that light appeared in that village, it was a big sign of hope. I couldn't imagine in this room how many light bulbs do we have here. Maybe, I don't know, a lot of them, and within your own rooms, how many light bulbs could you see? But for the whole village, to see one light bulb, it was a big sign of hope for them. And that's when they think that this is a reality. This clinic will be a reality. So it was so dark when I was there, and that's the way I feel like when I was there. And now we raise enough money, and we have that facility that has been built. That's Buckeye Clinic there in South Sudan. So it's very wonderful, and we have children being vaccinated now. And the chances where one child out of 5 children could not live to age 5 has now been eliminated. So it's not a good news for a child to have a shot. It's painful, but the mother is so happy that their child's life has been changed. So it's not just about changing life of people in the village. That includes my family members. So my sister is one of the women in that line standing there waiting for her son to be vaccinated. So we have people there in my village cheering for you. When you go there and say OH, you see people in my village saying IO. So that's what we have done so far. We have raised 190, and that's how we get the buildings. And we need more, almost 80,000 for the medical supply, for the staff, and to send in the team. So when we started this program a while ago, it was so impossible to think about it. And we have courage that this is impossible, but we can make it doable. So my journey of hope, the journey and the hope that I had for myself was the tool that I keep going. When I buried my own brother, I knew that if I am still hoping, then I will see my mom and I will be alive. And that's why I'm here today. So my message to you is a hope. And if you join me in this journey, we can all make difference in life of the people. And you can find hope in your own life. Thank you so much.